Welcome to the 2025 One World Media Awards. My name's Vivian Francis, I'm the director, and I'm delighted that you're here with us tonight. This year's shortlist reflects the serious and often painful realities of the world today. As geopolitical tensions escalate, climate shocks and conflicts rage on multiple fronts, those most vulnerable are more exposed than ever. Our thoughts are especially with those nominees and judges who have been impacted by the recent airstrikes in Iran, some of whom sadly no longer are able to join us tonight. Their absence is deeply felt. Yet amidst these turbulent times, brave, often uncomfortable reporting that confronts the causes of human suffering and exposes wrongdoing, but also highlights important solutions, is needed more than ever. These stories need to be seen, heard, supported and celebrated. One World Media has been going strong for 40 years, almost 40 years. I'm incredibly honoured to be at its helm. At the heart of what we do is and always will be the global community of storytellers who go to great lengths to spotlight underreported stories and injustice in the world. But a clear pattern is emerging when we speak to our community. They are disproportionately being impacted by the global instability. They have less funding, limited access to resources, and are facing increasing threats to their security and well-being. And it's affecting their ability to deliver their work. But it's never been more critical that those reporting from around the world have the resources and the infrastructure that they need, irrespective of where they live. In an increasingly polarised world, we must break down barriers and build greater understanding and respect for one another. We must resist harmful stereotypes and fight the spread of misinformation and disinformation, forces that breed division, hate and conflict. We need rich, diverse perspectives, authentic voices from those best positioned to tell the stories from their locations. Here's a roundup of the storytellers that we've been supporting at One World Media from around the world.
One World Media's partnership with the Financial Times and the Pulitzer Center is so beneficial to me as a storyteller from the Global South because they did not only provided me with sufficient funds, they also provided me with expert mentorship and a great platform to showcase my work.
Even before heading out for fieldwork, One World Media offered us invaluable training, mentorship, and a lot of check-ins from the team. Their support ensured that this health solution story could be told, and for that, we are truly grateful.
Production and post-production support enabled me to dig deeper about the story of an indigenous Sama Bajau sea nomad transgender woman here in the Philippines. It enabled me to ask questions about multi-layered marginalization.
I applied to the fellowship a little over a year ago with the idea of doing a limited podcast series, and fast forward to today, I've been able to complete that project with their help and guidance.
Apart from the grants, this fellowship has given us an opportunity to have one-to-one mentorship program, and our mentor constantly supports our project in various capacities. And thanks to the One World Media, I also got an opportunity to work with CBC.
Being part of this fellowship also opened doors to new opportunities. Through the network, I was able to connect with other producers, which I got an offer to work on other projects as well.
I do not have the permission to give up on myself because there is this entity somewhere who's taking it all. And, the never give up attitude that went into this whole organizing us telling this story has been life-changing for me.
Initiatives like this are so important because it helps amplify underreported stories about people, communities, and the environment while giving us a voice and harness our creativity as filmmakers. I wish all the best of success for the future projects of One World Media, and may you continue helping other filmmakers and storytellers around the world.
So I have to give credit to the fabulous filmmaker who put the promo together for us. He's from Kenya, his name is Frederick Ocheng, and he was part of our alumni. So this work needs to continue, and for us to be able to continue, we need to be bold and intentional. One World Media will continue to connect and grow our talented community of filmmakers, journalists from around the world with global platforms, social media platforms, but also our partners' audiences. We will collaborate with organisations that share our aims, building partnerships and exchanging knowledge. We will invest in underreported stories and support journalists and filmmakers from underrepresented communities through direct funding, programmes and initiatives that advance this work. We will celebrate our network's interests, advocating for their work, their rights and their inclusion, and the inclusion of our journalists and filmmakers from all over the world. Now I've got some really important updates to share with you. The One World Media Fellowship is back for 2025. Our talent programme is expanding with a growing umbrella of opportunities for storytellers that we're going to launch this week. Firstly, our main fellowship programme will be open tomorrow. It's a call for mid-career storytellers, including podcasters, writers and filmmakers from low to middle income countries. At last year's awards, I announced the Labour and Climate Film Grant in collaboration with the Pulitzer Centre and the Financial Times. You would have seen a clip of the film in that promo. I'm pleased to announce that the 2024 recipient, Breach Asher, his film has now been published by the FT. So please do check it out. It explores the challenges cocoa farmers in the Philippines face due to a rapidly changing climate and the creative, nature-based solutions they have found to preserve their lives and livelihood. I'm really pleased to announce that this successful partnership is going to continue this year, and today we are launching a new grant to support an experienced filmmaker to tell a compelling global health story. In response to the need to build storytelling capacity on climate change and energy transition in Nigeria, we're going to be partnering with Surge Africa to launch the Climate Reporting Gap. For this call, we're looking for Nigerian journalists interested in making complex climate issues more accessible through inclusive, community-focused storytelling. In the Amazon, we're looking for storytellers who want to report on the Amazon region. We've got a new grant in partnership with Mongabay to support the creation of a short documentary that explores the people, environments and challenges within this vital rainforest ecosystem. All of these opportunities will be on our website tomorrow, and if you could please help us share the calls within your networks. But of course, our work would not be possible without the incredible support of our sponsors and our donors, so a heartfelt thank you. But of course, there's still more we can do, and we need your help. £2,000 would cover the full production costs for one fellow to tell their story. £200 would provide them with vital editing support. Just £20 will fill their car with petrol so they're able to travel to a location to film. Any amount goes a long way, and we want to be committed to supporting global filmmaking. If you picked up a brochure, you will see our links to our PayPal. I think it's a QR code. But it's not only donations that we're looking for. Our work is supported by collaboration and partnerships. It's at the heart of what we do. So if you're interested in working with us and getting involved, please come and speak to me or any of the One World Media team. Finally, a few thank yous. Thank you, firstly, to the amazing board of trustees at One World Media. Thank you particularly to Kadaria Ahmed, our trustee who travelled in from Nigeria just to be with us. So thank you. Thank you to the amazing One World Media team. We are small, so thank you, Will, Licia, Louisa, and Alexandra. Thank you also to our mentors, our support staff, the production crew, but most of all, thank you so much to the nominees who have shared their work with us. And now I'll hand over to Gillian Joseph, who's going to be our host for the night.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. I'm on a bit of a busman's holiday because I'm normally in the studio at Sky News delivering your evening news. So I'm quite pleased to be here actually this evening because there's a lot going on. Anyway, welcome to the 37th One World Media Awards. I'm Gillian Joseph and I'm thrilled to celebrate with you tonight some of the most impactful journalism from around the world over the past year. Now, across 13 award categories, 39 exceptional nominees await the judges' decisions. These outstanding finalists deserve to be celebrated for their dedication to sharing vital stories. Our panel of judges faced a significant challenge this year, evaluating 559 entries from 100 countries, including nations as diverse as Haiti, Sudan, Lesotho, Peru, and the Kingdom of Bhutan. Each of these stories exemplifies excellence in sensitive and thorough international reporting, showcasing impactful storytelling that transcends borders and connects us all. We're excited to welcome you all to London this evening and extend a warm greeting to those joining us via Instagram Live. A heartfelt thank you to all the nominees and presenters who've made the journey to be here tonight. We know of one from Nigeria. Giving them a woo. That's a long way to come. And to everyone who played a role in bringing the 2025 awards to life. We're also privileged to be joined by a group of wonderful guest presenters who will be announcing our winners this evening. Now, these awards are distinctive in their focus not only on reporting from the global majority, but often covering underreported stories or exploring new angles on familiar topics. The awards celebrate accurate and balanced storytelling, with the judges focusing not just on the quality of entries, but on their impact, originality, creativity, and commitment to diversity. Now, we'll kick things off with the short documentary and feature documentary categories. Both categories focus on character-driven creative narratives. In the short documentary nominees, focusing on entries under 40 minutes, we see a rich diversity of themes, region styles, and overall journalistic storytelling. In feature documentary categories, for entries over 40 minutes, we travel to Palestine, to Gaza and the West Bank, and then to India to hear stories from the front lines of the war, the rising settler violence, and the painful decisions made many years ago. Let's take a look at the nominees.
چی؟
این منو جوش ندی هرس ندی
برای چی هرس بدم؟
یه کلو گذاشتی سر نمی
کلو برای چی بزنم سرم دیگه؟
برای که حالا یکی جواب تایی سر دیده نشه
یعنی اونا نمیدونن من کلو سرم نمیذارم حجاب سرم نمیذارم؟
نه ندیدن تو رو
حالا ببینن دیگه الان وقتشو
دست
ببینن
آقای اسماعیلی آبا من خواهم در نکن چه بچه خوبی تحویل داده اونجا مرزیه اونا همه مکتب نرجس درس میده
مرزی خانوم ها؟
مرزی خانوم نه منصورش اینا چیزای مکتب نرجس همش راد نمیده میگه برو اول یه چیز ترم کن بعد
حالا بریم ببینیم
나만의 말, 뒷바만의 바니, 구름만의 사거리, 수쿠만의 한목, 가와만의 여자, 아메만의 막, 아까만의 자지. If ever you were asked to, how would it feel like to stop yourself from speaking your tongue? Words that would originate from the throat, in the larynx, in the muscles, in the very veins and arteries. Dimane waraga, soling mane ako, ni Bihar, fire mane rate, man pinan mane noton borokon, asa ne beli. Nang jasi mane rena rate, na mane mas tika mane puni, purung mane sauli, sukru mane hamu, hawa mane dada, ame mane ma, kai mane zete.
जनरली हम देखते हैं कि मछुआरे कम्युनिटी में मर्द आदमी जो होता है वो कमाता है वो पकड़ा गया तो उसके बाद घर में इनकम ही बंद हो जाती है गरीबी बहुत है
रोजगार एम्प्लॉयमेंट उस पूरे इलाके में और कुछ नहीं है, फिर ऐसा होता है कि उसकी वाइफ हो या मदर या सिस्टर, ये लोग बाहर काम करने जाते हैं और ये काम होता है सुबह 8 से लेकर रात को 8 बजे तक।
Now, to present these two awards, please welcome Third Horizon Director and one of our judges, Jonathan Alley.
On behalf of the feature jury, I'd like to take this opportunity to say how impressed we were by the diversity of the films that we evaluated, and in particular, how impressed we were with the number of films in which the participants themselves played a part in the making of the films and in telling their own stories. And in general, I would like to say how important it is that we continue to support the making of independent feature-length and short documentaries. I'll begin with the short documentary award, and the winner is The Waiting Game. Unfortunately, the winner is not here, but we do have a short video clip.
Hi, my name is Kanika Gupta. I'm a journalist and documentary filmmaker from New Delhi, India. First of all, I would like to extend my deepest gratitude to the One World Media for giving The Waiting Game this platform. The story focuses on the lives of women who have spent years in a limbo, stuck in silence because their male family members are arrested across the border. The anxiety brought on by the volatile relationship between India and Pakistan. This is an important recognition for The Waiting Game because it's a testimony to these women that their voices are being heard. And through this platform, it may be amplified too. Thank you.
And now on to the feature documentary award. And the winner is Life and Death in Gaza.
Wow, I don't think we were expecting that. Firstly, thank you to One World Media. This is a huge honour, and to the other two films in the category. We were up against two brilliant films. Big thanks to our two producers here, Lara El-Jabali and Haya El-Badani. Their work was exceptional throughout the making of this film. Gathering hours and hours of footage from Gaza when our contributors were filming on their phones was not an easy task, and they were brilliant throughout the making of this film. But we're accepting this award on behalf of the four families that were in this film. Khalid, Aya, Adam and Asil risked absolutely everything when they documented their lives over the course of a year since October the 7th, and we're indebted to them so that we could bear witness to what's happening in Gaza. And with all the distractions that are going on at the moment, I'd just like to take this opportunity to say, let's keep talking about Gaza. So thank you so much.
Now, for our next category, received an extraordinary number of incredible solution-focused stories. The Women's Solutions Reporting Award celebrates journalism that highlights gender-focused innovations and projects that address societal challenges. This year, the jury were deeply impressed by the resilience and innovation demonstrated across these entries, making the selection of a single winner a considerable task. We're proud to present this award, kindly sponsored by the European Investment Bank. Let's take a look at the finalists.
Alarming numbers of pregnant women in the coastal district of Dakope, southwest Bangladesh, have been diagnosed with preeclampsia, eclampsia, and hypertension, which scientists believe is linked to rising salinity in drinking water. Fresh water is essential for drinking, irrigation, and healthy ecosystems. As sea levels rise, fresh water systems around the world are increasingly being contaminated with saline water, gradually contaminating the soil and wreaking havoc on lands, lives, and livelihoods.
The hangings take place after the call to prayer at dawn. Nassim has been waiting for his sentence for 500 days. There are other women too, suspended between life and death. Every Tuesday, the women protest against executions. The No to Execution campaign has spread from behind prison walls into the world.
Even though the prison has caged us, it cannot cage our voices. They sentenced some of us to longer in jail and cut off phone calls and visits.
برد حشد اشتهر تبعي لكم كيدي جزاء تبعي لنا رأي.
سميتي يا أخي كتبخي كتبخي بسرعة يا أخي.
صار لك جن سنة خوك خمسة جات عمجة حكي ما بزيد حني أخوها وتعمل سلم. على خبرك خير إخبار تايكو لك.
عم دنجتنا نيرنا خلاتنا لنا. تاي مثل نيرو هيوت كي تاي تصرح نيركي من نواب روخي خمي نيرو.
نحرسنا نلع نيرنا سبق ما نعبر نيرنا. مندرنا عن سكين نيرنا. حرسنا كل بيدنا كتنا نلع نيرنا. جونا اللي خفنا ببلي. زين قد عن زعق دق هم سكر خلا صوت مزح قربت كيف ما بالخانة دق له نعمي سلام نورانا نعيو حدا مخان ايو قرب.
Now to announce the winner, please welcome the European Investment Bank's Senior Gender Specialist, Carmen Nitama.
Good evening, everybody. It's a huge honor for me to represent the European Investment Bank here on this stage today to give this award. My day-to-day work is all about promoting gender equality and women's economic empowerment, and so this award means something to me personally, and it's very close to the EIB's heart, I would say. We have been supporting this award for about 5 years now, and the objective is really to recognize reporting of women that are showing resilience, they're showing strength, and they're showing empowerment. It would come to nobody's surprise that today's finalist and winner, those nominations really, they really impressed our judges. It is from Bangladesh to Ethiopia to Iran that the stories, as you could just see, they showcase women's efforts in shaping societies and fighting for their rights. To me, this is not just about giving voice to the voiceless, but it is really about starting and igniting an important conversation that at the end of the day, they mobilize communities towards change. I want to congratulate all of the nominees in our category. Keep on doing what you're doing. For those of you in the room, what you're doing is extremely important. The way how you're reporting is extremely important, and please just keep it going. This is really, really important work. And now I have the honor to actually get to the moment that everybody's waiting for. So I'm going to be announcing the winner for this award. This year's Women's Solution Reporting winner is Songs from Inside.
What can I say? Thank you very much on behalf of a very big team. It's, I think, a timely reminder of the story of women in Iran, especially women in Evin prison in Iran. 2 days ago, their ward was bombed in an Israeli attack. We know that all the women in the women's ward survived and are safe, but human rights organizations have raised concern that the recent conflict may have repercussions for human rights inside Iran. So 2 of the women are under death sentences, and that worries many human rights groups. So I think this is an award that will be really appreciated by those whose stories we try to tell, but also a big team behind it, many of whom haven't been able to travel back to their country, Iran, because of the work they do. So thank you to One World Media and the judges.
Our next category is the Refugee Reporting Award, which recognises outstanding media pieces that cover stories and issues related to the experiences of refugees. To present the nominees, we have a special video message from actor and activist Adjoa Ando.
Hello to everyone at the One World Media Awards in London and around the world. I'm Adjoa Ando, and I'm so sorry not to be with you this evening. Nonetheless, I am extremely pleased, delighted, to be presenting the Refugee Reporting Award. My dad was a journalist in Ghana in the 1950s. He worked on the Daily Graphic newspaper, and he had to flee and was exiled in the UK because of politics. My uncle was the Guardian newspaper's Labour and then transport editor for many decades, and I am an ambassador for the International Rescue Committee. So I know that courageous journalism is more vital than ever to keep us informed and engaged with the world around us. And this category is especially close to my heart, given the huge numbers of displaced peoples we are seeing fleeing from conflicts around the world, from countries such as the Sudan, Israel, Palestine, Ukraine, the DRC, and many other places. Through the determined reporting of these stories, we are able to remain present to the horror of the wars around us. But we are also reminded of the strength and courage of individuals and the resilience of communities.
على إبر الصنوبر الرطبة الباردة في مكان ما من غابات صربيا. فجأة صرخات صاخبة من الغابة: اركضي يا فتاة، اركضي، لا تتوقفي عن الركض. بعيون عمياء سأجد الطريق.
The smugglers have given Mohammed the call he's been waiting on for weeks. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Hey, Mohammed.
Yeah, Grammy.
Aya?
Nakamu?
Ni Sara?
Sara, genda na sangani.
Yeah.
Wana ma inshan gini magi buku tak bagage.
Déet waay maanaam mën na nekk fee guddi wala suba.
Waaw fii ak suba sax.
Mais sa xol yow exactement moment bii nga xam ne yow dem nga si des. Lan ngay sentir?
Lu may sentir sama yaram bii moom ndax sama tànk bi ma gis ko mu dugg si biir gaal bi de su fekkee dugg si gaal bi.
Mais sa xel ak sa xol amul lenn lu la si poussé sax nga xalaat ni man kat naa dellu gannaaw wala déet.
Non, loolu musuma ko xalaat.
Leanne told us that she didn't want to be seen as a charity case. "I have a future," she yelled, slamming her water bottle to the ground. "I will not tolerate that when I grow up, I will Google my name and all that comes up on every page is pictures of me injured." She was demanding that she retain at least some control of her circumstances, as she had when she first met the Asafs. She was also insisting that she not be defined by her disability. We agreed to follow Leanne's lead when it came to photos, then spoke to her about her life, October 7th, and the airstrike that shattered her family. At one point, the conversation turned philosophical, and we discussed whether human beings are inherently good. Leanne was firmly against this.
And so, to the winner of the Refugee Reporting Award 2025, it gives me great pleasure to announce that Coming to America by the Atavist is this year's worthy winner. Huge congratulations to the team. I understand that, like me, our winner couldn't be in London tonight. So they've sent us a message. Thanks to you all, and do enjoy your evening. But first, let's listen to the message from our winners.
We are so honored to accept this Refugee Reporting Award for our piece Coming to America.
For myself, my partner in this story, photojournalist Iman Mohammed, and the entire Atavist magazine team. A One World Media Award ensures that the story of Leanne Albaz and the thousands and thousands of new child amputees in Gaza is not forgotten, but not only that it's prioritized and understood in all its complexities and long-term implications. Thank you.
Now we have the student category that showcases brilliant emerging talent. The judges commented on how the films demonstrate critical thinking, bold insights, and use compelling storytelling to engage the audience. Let's take a look at the nominees.
تا خرداد 1398 وقتی به خاطر پوشیدن دقیقاً چیزی که می‌بینید توسط گشت امنیت اخلاقی دستگیر شدم. گیج شده بودم. من کجا وایستادم؟ همه این سالها تصور می‌کردم این شکل درست از حجابیه که من به خاطر مذهبی که بهش اعتقاد دارم رعایتش میکنم.
एक बोट है गई पूरा 1970-71 में हप्पू हमते अगम कगल गया शो जाकु इप गए ई कोई हनिंग ले तफंग यो हनिंग बचु में हुआ म हाईलेवन खंगा गई पिसंग कोई बोट संगा को इंडिया संपु बोरमा संपु गति पु हम पे जु पु होना का चा तम yang letai pu le ko athiba ti hisam gai ta ga nangmat pongma akam pe ti borma ti ali pe akam me pu india ti ali pe na ko hailewen ma ko ho me ge la ge wa te set me gai ang le aga chu ku cha tai pha ge lam me gai ang la letai ko
Cara do bem. A vida do ferrante.
Babe, transformei parece do Scooby-Doo.
To present the Student Prize, please welcome one of our category judges, Jessica Bishop.
Hi, I'm honoured to be here today to present this award. We, as the part of the jury, we had a very difficult decision on our hands. All of the films were incredibly high standard, and we had a lot of long discussions around all of the different entries, all of them incredibly strong, and it just makes me think about how important it is to support and enable independent filmmakers to make work, to tell their stories, to make sure that we're supporting diverse perspectives. These are all student filmmakers, so hire them, fund their next film, give them opportunities. You've got their names in the booklet that you've all been given. No excuses. Anyway, okay. And I'm going to open the envelope now. So the winner is accused number 41. Unfortunately, because of recent developments in Iran, the winner can't be here to accept the award.
Thank you. We understand the circumstances, but I think they should hire you as an agent. Definitely get them work. For our podcast and radio award, we travel to the coastline of Gaza, take a historic journey in Nigeria, and hear of the green feminist movement in Latin America. The judges found the shortlist to be moving, challenging and inspiring, keeping them engaged and entertained. Let's have a listen to our finalists.
It was to be his most popular venue yet.
I had an idea to build a replica of the Gaza City port, but this time on the beach of Beit Lahia, my village. So I managed to recycle all the blocks of concrete from the destroyed buildings and apartment blocks and create a water break barrier so that children can learn safely. No waves, no great depth. A really mad idea, but it is a reality.
Children are playing peacefully here. Alhamdulillah, my dream came true, finally.
She had apparently given birth, but her baby girl was dead.
From there, they accused me of having murdered my newborn.
Hours passed. The police finally arrived. But when they saw the situation, they accused the Adora of aggravated homicide.
Without any argument, without something that would determine the death of my newborn, right? Because until now, until this moment, it's not possible to determine the cause of my newborn's death.
So did the war bring the Ogonis together? It's not that simple. We might think crisis fuels solidarity, but history repeatedly shows us that when societies encounter crises, we prioritize the individual over the communal. We put individual survival ahead of collective solidarity. For one, survival is instinctive. It needs immediate thinking, while solidarity needs planning, a shared philosophy. And so, not surprisingly, the brutality the Ogonis experienced during the Civil War did not necessarily foster a pan-Ogoni mindset among them. It just made people desperate to survive by any means. What the war did, though, was highlight a vacuum, the fact that the Ogonis had no means of protecting each other.
Please welcome Senior Communications Advisor to the President of the African Development Bank, Victor Oladokun.
It's quite an honor to be able to present this award this evening, the Podcasts and Radio Awards. And tonight, not just for this award, but for many others, we are celebrating the power of the spoken word and the craft of telling stories, but in this particular instance, audio storytelling. In addition, we recognize the power of both platforms to transcend borders and to give voice to the voiceless, as well as weave together our shared humanity. As the author and poet laureate Maya Angelou said, words mean more than what is written down on paper. It takes the human voice to give deeper meaning to them. And in their own respective ways, that's what each of the nominees have done. And we salute them and we congratulate them this evening. Today, in an often deeply divided world, one where it's very difficult to get above the communication clutter, we really celebrate these nominees. Their voices are undeniable proof that every microphone can be a catalyst for better understanding, for justice, and a bridge for a more compassionate world. As I prepare to announce the winner, I just want to encourage each and every one of us, in our own ways, to listen with open hearts, to share stories that really matter, and to build a more connected and a much more compassionate world. That's what this is all about at the end of the day. With that being said, the winner is Finding Freedom in the Water, Gaza's swimming teacher. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. This means a lot. So thank you very much on behalf of the Outlook team, and thank you One World Media for recognising Amjad's story.
Hello, I'm Jo. I'd like to add my thanks to One World Media, and indeed to Louise, who did such an amazing job in producing this programme and getting this story to every day Our programme, Outlook, on the BBC World Service tells extraordinary personal stories. And as you will be very well aware, at the moment, international media organisations are not permitted to report independently inside Gaza, and there are restrictions on journalists getting access to people there. So it's even more important at the moment that we hear from people like Amjad Tantish. And our deepest thanks go to him for telling us about his life and his passion for the water and his wish to resume swimming lessons for children as soon as the war is over. Thank you.
I gather there's an audio clip, so
Hello.
if you could kindly pay attention to the screen. There it is.
Thanks a lot for picking my story for the finals at this prestigious prize. Unfortunately, the war has not stopped yet. After 15 more months since the broadcasting of the episode, and unfortunately, it did not only claim the lives of more of my innocent swimmers, but also the lives of the dearest two people to my heart, my mother in past July, and then my closest elder brother, Bahjat, in past March, after we were both targeted by a tank shell while fleeing our past shelter in northern of Beit Lahia in North Gaza. Bahjat was not only a respectful elder brother who was serving as the vice president of the Central Palestinian Karate Federation, but he was also the one that taught me swimming in the first place and the one who inspired me later as a competitive swimmer and exceptional swimming teacher. I never expected to be a target in my life, myself. I never harmed anyone, neither my peaceful brother did, but for sorry, I was proven wrong. Everyone here has turned into a target during this merciless war on humanity and every living thing on this land. While I miraculously survived in body so far, the war has imprinted everlasting scars on my spirit that change me forever. I am no longer the same person. Neither life will be the same after all this loss. Thanks, Louise, for sharing my story and putting all this effort into it. Congratulations to you on this valuable achievement. Thank you all at One World Media for your appreciation of this wonderful work by Louise and her colleagues.
As difficult as it is to listen to that story, they must be told, those stories must be told. Next up is the Journalist of the Year Award. This prestigious prize recognises a filmmaker or journalist who's made the most outstanding contribution to international journalism over the past year. Each of the distinguished journalists in this category deserves recognition for their exceptional work. Here are the final three.
Cynthia Gicheri is an accomplished multimedia journalist based in Nairobi, Kenya. With a passion for investigative gender and climate change reporting, Gicheri has made a mark in the Kenyan media landscape as a senior reporter at Africa Uncensored, an online media house renowned for its commitment to producing impactful, investigative, and in-depth documentaries. Her journalistic focus lies in investigative reporting, where she delves into the heart of issues to reveal the truth. In her latest investigation, Poison PR, she collaborated with Lighthouse Reports and other global media to expose how a secret cabal made up of stakeholders in the worldwide agrochemical industry are working together to uphold the sale of paraquat in Kenya and other countries in the global south, despite the chemical being linked to Parkinson's disease. Sam Mednick is the West and Central Africa correspondent for Associated Press, focusing on underreported conflicts and human rights abuses in some of the world's most neglected crises. Mednick is an intrepid, fearless, and dogged journalist able to gain access to places and people others often can't. Mednick began the year by investigating the killings of civilians by security forces in Burkina Faso, where jihadist groups have killed thousands and displaced millions of people. In October, Mednick travelled to the Chad-Sudan border to report on the humanitarian crisis sparked by Sudan's civil war, which has killed over 20,000 people. Despite being repeatedly told that no one would speak to her, Mednick found women willing to tell their stories. Wei Du is a highly experienced and versatile talent who excels in presenting, writing, and producing news specials and current affairs programs for CNA. Her multidisciplinary approach enables her to deliver in-depth, nuanced content with an authentic, personal touch. Her recent work exemplifies this. Walk the Line, a groundbreaking documentary that follows a group of Chinese migrants on their perilous journey through Latin America to reach the United States. Wei has been an integral part of CNA since 2010. Her ability to seamlessly transition between hard news reporting and in-depth current affairs work underscores her range as a correspondent and journalist.
Please welcome One World Media's chair, Peter Horrocks, to present the prize.
Before I present this, one of our most prestigious awards of the evening, I want to add, on behalf of the trustees of One World Media, our thanks to all of you for being here this evening. It's an emotionally wrenching but also exhilarating evening, and I hope it'll be an enjoyable one for you to get together with the nominees and the award winners and to support each other and have a really nice evening in London. But it's not just about that. By being part of One World Media's awards evening, we hope that you'll join a network of journalists and documentary makers and those who believe in those missions. And we think there's more that we can do with 40 years of awardees and nominees and fellows to pass on the knowledge from those people, to connect them to the filmmakers and the journalists of the future, and also to serve the interests of organisations, amongst them our wonderful sponsors, and to be able to do that at even greater scale. So we hope that you'll help us by offering your ideas and your contributions, and my colleagues and trustees will be chatting to people later on about that. But the network that we're putting together and that we're nurturing wouldn't be possible, of course, without the One World Media team itself. And Vivian has generously thanked all of her team, but I think it's really important that we thank Vivian. She's an exceptional director. She's been in the role for less than 2 years, but she's making extraordinary strides and really putting One World Media even further on the map. And I think that applause tells you everything that everyone here knows about how wonderful she is. Let me turn to our award winners. As you saw, extraordinary geographic range, different styles, different types of organisations, but I think we have a really worthy winner. The One World Media Journalist of the Year is Wei Du. Congratulations.
I completely did not expect this, so thank you so much. Like I said, I completely did not expect this. I did not prepare a speech because I wanted to avoid the embarrassment of having a speech but not the opportunity to deliver it. I'm by nature a pessimist. That's just how I am. But I'm so grateful for this recognition. Thank you so much, One World Media. We actually had another entry into the refugee reporting category, but didn't get in. So that tells you how competitive these awards are. I know this is supposed to be an individual recognition, but I want to just share the credit with the team that was with me on the ground, the people back in the offices upstairs writing checks. And, last but not least, the migrants who really opened their hearts to us. They came, told their stories, and did not just come shout their slogans. And they went through so much trauma to arrive in a country that's entirely different from what they thought it would be. So I want to take this opportunity to also wish them the best of luck, either in America or back home.
Now we come to the Environmental Reporting Award. Climate reporters and filmmakers face unprecedented challenges in these dangerous times to bring us stories that inform and connect. In this category, we see great courage, collaboration and resilience from reporters in Kenya, Thailand, Peru and beyond. Let's take a look now.
Cattle Hustle is a collaborative investigation shedding light on the underreported issue of cattle smuggling in mainland Southeast Asia. This transboundary illicit trade threatens food safety and exacerbates the spread of zoonotic diseases due to unregulated animal movement and poor livestock management. Despite these risks, cattle-related diseases have not received the same attention as avian flu, creating a critical gap in both public awareness and policy action. This story highlights the intricate connections between political instability, animal and human health, and offers solutions to urge relevant stakeholders to take action for the health of people, animals, and the environment.
A secret network of industry players is silencing critics to protect the sale of harmful pesticides in different parts of the world, including Kenya.
So these products have been banned in other countries. They're being manufactured to sell to us.
Africa is a target for them for a whole host of reasons. The regulatory environment isn't as robust.
An alarming report reveals that 76% of the total volume of pesticides used in Kenya contain highly hazardous ingredients, and 44% of these are banned in Europe due to their effects on human health and the environment.
Them causing cancer, them causing challenges of reproduction, the challenges of endocrine disruption.
A groundbreaking investigation by Africa Uncensored, in collaboration with investigative newsroom Lighthouse Reports and other global media, reveals how this secret cabal prioritizes profit over public health.
El 15 de enero del 2022, un buque petrolero descargaba 1 millón de barriles de crudo en la refinería La Pampilla en el mar de Ventanilla, al norte de Lima, cuando ocurrió un hecho inesperado. El PLEN, el dispositivo submarino que conectaba el sistema de la nave con el ducto de la planta, se rompió y 13.000 barriles fueron a parar al mar, desatando el mayor desastre ambiental del Perú y uno de los más grandes de América Latina.
To announce the winner of the Environmental Reporting Award, please welcome Liberty International's President of Honour and Climate Champion, Dr. Hakima El Haiti.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's really a true honor for me to stand here on behalf of the World Media Award and to participate to such event. I'm not used, but let me tell you that I'm really impressed, and I would love to award you, because what I saw is not only connecting, and what you do is not only reporting, is connecting us human beings with our reality, the dust and the dark reality of our world, in a time where all the crises are increasing: human rights violation, disrespect of international law, climate change exacerbate everywhere in our world. What you are doing is just extraordinary. We need more journalists like you. Everything is connecting. Women issues is connected to climate change. Environment, what we see, food security and food safety is connected to climate change. Refugees are connected to climate change. So I think that all the issues are interconnected, and what you are doing, you are just making visible everything which is and seen by the international community and the leaders. You are just making loud everything which is unheard, and you are just making universal local issues. So thank you so much. It's with a great, great respect and a deep honor that I am here to award the environmental reporting winner, Poison PR.
Thanks, everyone. I just realised I had to take off my bum bag. Cynthia Gachiri, Africa Uncensored's film, you saw an excerpt from there, which is a fantastic film made in collaboration with the international reporters you saw there. Lighthouse, we believe in the power of collaboration, and this investigation was about the world's biggest chemical companies and the US government working to suppress information about the dangers of hazardous pesticides to some of the world's most vulnerable people. Yeah, I think a lot of what One World is about these kind of collaborative approaches, and what I was really pleased with in Poison PR was how these stories got the local voice they needed to make the story shine. And Cynthia is a stunning reporter and got on top of a really complex story incredibly quickly. And we joked that she could have a PhD quicker than some of the chemical companies' scientists could. But yeah, thank you, One World. Thank you to all of the it's been amazing, and to see all of the films tonight.
The Current Affairs Award recognises a significant episode or standalone piece of documentary journalism and is kindly supported by the European Bank for Reconstruction and Development. Our jury were impressed by the raw and powerful investigations, complex ethical dilemmas, and deeply human narratives. These entries stand out for their journalistic craft, emotional impact, and ability to raise profound questions about justice, accountability, and truth. Let's take a look at the documentaries that made the shortlist.
بسملة أخرنا يلا قوموا بسملة سيبنا شوي معلش
أنا بكره الياسمين بكره عشان بصحى بدري وساعات بروح أنام تحت السرير.
عارفة الياسمين اللي بتجمعيه بيروح فين؟
الياسمين اللي أنا بجمعه بيتحول إلى عطور وبيروح الدول اللي في العالم.
This is a story about an Australian boy missing in a Syrian jail.
Yusuf's a beautiful boy. He's my baby.
Yusuf Zahab, a Sydney school kid plunged into an IS nightmare. Most of the Australians who lived under the Islamic State group and survived its destruction have been held without charge or trial since 2019, including children.
Where are you from?
Australia.
Yusuf is a child, for God's sake. He was a child when it was taken over. He had no agency and he's been left to rot and disappear.
Yusuf became the face and the voice of the lost boys of Syria.
The Israelis would have dropped 2,000-pound bombs on that neighborhood. Shifa is on the border of Rimal, the middle-class area of Gaza, where the universities are, where a lot of the non-governmental organization offices are. That was really one of the first places that was completely flattened. The streets were full of these 15-meter craters. That's when I realized this is completely different.
Extended families sheltering together are getting killed. Multiple generations gone at once.
From those amazing stories, there can only be one winner, unfortunately, and here to present the Current Affairs Prize is the Director of Communications for the European Bank of Reconstruction and Development, Richard Porter.
Yes, once again, a real privilege to be here and to be associated with this event. And also it's really hard, isn't it, when you see these films. We're based in London, we work in many of the same countries that One World Media covers, so we feel a very strong connection with the work we see here. And I wanted to say, as well as supporting One World Media, the EBRD sponsors an annual literature prize for translated fiction. And as it happens, last night was the award ceremony for that prize. Throughout, there was a striking overlap with tonight's event, with the themes that are being discussed. So, in fact, the winner was a Croatian novel called Sons and Daughters, which examines how war and trauma in the past continues to be felt in the present. And one of the judges, as it happens, was the journalist Fergal Keane. And during this ceremony last night, he talked very eloquently, as Fergal does, about how literature can go further than journalism to convey the emotional truth of events. But to be honest, seeing what we're seeing tonight, I'm not so sure about that, actually. There can be little doubt about the power of these films, these three films that are mentioned here, and there was a fourth that was mentioned as well by the judges, their ability to capture the reality, the impact, and the vital role of journalists as investigators or as witnesses, recording history just as literature does. So the winning entry, and I know what it is because one of my colleagues was the judge and she briefed me this afternoon on what, and of course I've watched the film, was the winning entry was frequently unbearable to watch, actually, but we must watch, mustn't we? So just a little extract from what the judges said. What makes this work truly exceptional is its ability to humanize, capturing rare and moving moments of vulnerability, resilience, and connection amidst overwhelming hardship. So the surprise has gone for me reading the envelope, but to announce the Current Affairs winner, it is Kill Zone Inside Gaza.
I want to apologise for my attire, first of all, because Vanessa Bowles, who directed this film, should be here, but she can't make it tonight, and I was on my way to Glastonbury, which is why I'm wearing. But I'm not trying to be amusing, because the people who made this film are all in Gaza. They've made 3 films for us. The first 2 have gone out, one on Channel 4, one with Zetio in the United States. And the third one we made for the BBC hasn't gone out yet, and it won't go out on the BBC. But there'll be more news about that. But the team who made that film, and Robert and Leah helped me in London produce it. But the team who made that, if they see me in flip-flops on the stage, will be appalled. But the team who made it, Jabba Badwan, Abdul Hakim Aborish, Shadi Tabit Twai, Sula Naseen, I'm murdering their names, I know, Hind Corey, and 8 others, including Montasa Al-Sawaf, who was killed a couple of months after he made this film. This is their award. This is I think it's the 6th award, including a BAFTA they've won. And this is really a tribute to them. I think there's over 200 journalists now who've been killed and filmmakers who've been killed in Gaza. And it's an appalling murder of journalists, I would call it. And many of the team who made this film in Gaza also made a film called Medics Under Fire, which we made for the BBC, but they are refusing to broadcast. They've approved it many times. They delayed it 6 times. We've now fought with them, got the film back, and I'm pleased to say that I'm hoping, I don't want to break any exclusive news here, but I'm hoping that audiences in the UK will be able to see it in the next 10 days. But that's I want to say, we work with great people in the BBC, and this great BBC film that won here tonight. The BBC is able to make films in Gaza, and they made this film. They just need to put them out and not sit on them, because there's nothing political about a film about the death of thousands of people, and they've made it political, this film, for some reason, and it's completely of their own creation. But I'm saying this because the people who worked on that film, including the one who died, deserve the recognition. They also worked on this other film that we were making whilst this one was being made. This took 5 months to make and put out. The BBC one took 15 months now. Could have gone out in February, could have gone out in March, could have gone out in April. Will go out this month. But I want to apologise to those people who've been sitting, waiting for that film to go out, and also to the contributors, the doctors who spoke in that film. But their story will go out soon. But I want to really pay tribute to one person, Jabba Badwan, who was the director of photography on this. Extraordinary man. He's made 3 films for us now, and we're hopefully making a 4th one soon. So this really is his award, and everyone else in Gaza. Thank you very much.
Now, as we move on to our next categories, we have a very special guest, Ifra Muhammad from Bilan Media in Mogadishu. We're excited to welcome her to the awards ceremony this year. Bilan Media won our Press Freedom Award last year and will now present our next award categories, but let's head to Somalia.
Greeting to all of you in London and watching online. I am Ifra from Bilan Media in Mogadishu, Somalia. We won the Press Freedom Prize last year at One World Media and are thrilled to be back now to present 2 categories this evening. In the print category and innovative storytelling category, we see some incredible stories from Venezuela, Haiti, India, and other regions. Let's take a look at the nominees.
Look down. Since 2014, 15,700 arbitrary detentions were registered in Venezuela. There's no photos nor videos of what happens in these torture centers. So this experience is only possible thanks to the testimonies of more than 30 people who were incarcerated in El Helicoide, the biggest torture center in Venezuela.
At the heart of the fishing industry is the invisible labour of women. Over 12.3 million women, mostly from oppressed castes, work in fishing in India. They catch, farm, process and sell fish, mend nets, and maintain fishing gear. But their contribution is largely unacknowledged, both in government policies and within fishing communities. Breaking the Nets shows what happens when these women decide to organise and stand up for their rights. Each piece in the 5-part series uses interactive mixed media storytelling to capture the unique environments where these women live and work. The power of their voices, their determination, and their resilience comes through clearly in every story. Inside the story of South Asians trafficked and enslaved in Asia's booming scam compounds. Once considered a region for the global export of IT skills and services, South Asia is witnessing a crisis. That of its savvy tech workers being tricked, trafficked, and tortured into working at Southeast Asia's deadly pig butchering scam compounds. Through this interactive visual novel and report, Asian Dispatch invites the readers to step into the shoes of a few out of an estimated thousands from the region who become caught between the scam and the scammed. Canaan came from catastrophe. On January 12, 2010, a 7.0 magnitude earthquake centered near Port-au-Prince sent concrete crashing down onto the heads and bodies of hundreds of thousands of people, killing between 46,000 and 316,000. A difference of 270,000 lives, whose fate the state and the world doesn't know. It's August 2023, and over the previous 13 years, residents had built the city from nothing. Wedged between the mountains, a mass gravesite, and the sea, Canaan had never been a paradise. Haiti's government never recognized it as its own municipality, never gave its residents titles to the land, but they had transformed what was once a no man's land into a haven of relative peace and safety for a time. Fear had already gripped their hearts. For the past month, ever since news of massacres in nearby villages began to spread, the residents of Tarbika had been sleeping outside in a field. Fatima Hourani's husband, Deeb, and the other men took turns guarding the village at night. Nothing could have prepared them for what came next. Fatima was outside when she saw armed men racing down the hill toward her village. They arrived in tanks, carried rifles, and wore British uniforms with dome-shaped helmets. Their complexions ranged from very pale to deeply tanned. She didn't know who they were, only that they were terrifying. She stood frozen in place until her sister-in-law abruptly yanked her back to reality. "People are fleeing," her sister-in-law snapped. "And do you want to stand there and watch?" Matabo shuffled toward the front of the cavernous factory. It was 5 p.m, and she had just clocked out of her job in quality control for Precious Garments, a factory in Maseru, Lesotho, that makes athletic apparel for Reebok and other international brands. As she stood in line waiting to reach the exit, her body tensed involuntarily. At the door, Matabo wordlessly hiked her shirt up and lowered her pants. Then she closed her eyes as a supervisor stuck her hand inside her underwear and between her legs. Matabo, who asked to use a pseudonym to protect her identity, and the other workers were told this was to prevent theft, to make sure nothing had been tucked under their waistbands or concealed in their undergarments, but it felt personal.
With groundbreaking stores, the judges were impressed by the high quality of the entries and the range of critical issues across the selection. I can now reveal that the 2025 winner of the Print Award is The True Price of Sportswear by The Dial.
The One World Award means a lot to me and my colleague Ryan Brown because it says we have done a very beautiful work and collaboration still works. Winning this award would mean that the story is going to be amplified more, and then it shows that there is a lot more to do in terms of investigating the story further. It also means that there is need for the authorities to take charge and work on the issues that we have raised in the story.
And I can reveal that the winner of the Innovative Storytelling Award is Breaking the Nights by The Wire.
Good evening. On behalf of my colleagues Monica Jha and Sriram Vittalmurthy, I'm thrilled that our work has been recognized by the One World Media Award. Our series Breaking the Nets spotlights India's fisherwomen as they organize and demand recognition of their essential work. We are overjoyed that these fisherwomen's voices and resilience has found recognition on a global stage. This recognition will also help our work reach a broader audience, amplifying these important stories and supporting these remarkable women in their fight. We'd like to thank all the women who trusted us with their stories, and One World Media for this recognition.
Congratulations to you both. That's it from all of us at Bilan Media in Somalia. Enjoy the rest of the ceremony. Back to you in London.
Thank you, Mogadishu. Our penultimate category is the News Award, which recognises a video news report or feature that demonstrates outstanding reporting from the Global South. This category sees entries from across the globe, from a drug epidemic in Sierra Leone to the North Koreans working in Chinese fish factories to the rise of HIV infections in Panama. Let's take a look at the nominees now.
The NPR story and photos, Why Are So Many Indigenous Panamanians Contracting HIV and Dying of AIDS, document the HIV/AIDS epidemic in Panama's Mongabay indigenous territory, where the virus has become the #1 cause of death. The story documents how the social stigma of carrying HIV within the Mongabay indigenous territory is one of the main drivers of the outbreak, as well as an inability to afford the transport costs to travel to an antiretroviral clinic where HIV/AIDS medication is provided for free.
The government's rehab has only just opened and places are limited. I'm going to see what the alternatives are. I've come to a Kush healer where young men and women are being kept in chains.
God captured my system. My friend told me to buy the drug for him. And he repeated too, let me taste the drug, so that I even want to lose my brain.
18-year-old Ibrahim was sent here 3 weeks ago by his dad.
This is our home, not me alone sleep here. 4 sleep here, 7 sleep over there, 2 sleep here.
How many days is left for you to be discharged?
Only my father know the date that left for me to discharge. Or else my father said, today, tomorrow you will go.
But you think you are okay now?
Yeah, I'm okay now.
Really? Are you really okay?
Hey, I'm a strong boy. I'm okay now, sir.
This year, a team of investigators and I set out to document the use of North Korean labor in China's growing seafood industry. We collected leaked government documents, company promotional materials, satellite imagery, online forums, and local news reports. We reviewed hundreds of cell phone videos shot inside or near the seafood plants that were published on Chinese social media. These materials opened a window onto a hidden world that China has tried to keep secret. In some instances, the presence of North Koreans at Chinese plants was explicitly discussed in the footage or in the comments. We had experts review the footage for North Korean accents, language usage, and other cultural markers.
Now, I can exclusively reveal that I was one of the judges on this, in this category, and looking back at the clips now, I really don't know how we came to a decision, but we did. So please welcome the director of the BBC World Service, Jonathan Munro, to announce the winner.
Hello everyone, what an amazing selection. We'll come to the winner in a second, but just before we do that, I just wanted to say a huge thank you to One World Media for staging this incredible event and for bringing together so many different aspects of the industry. It's about big organisations working with small ones, it's about startups working with people who've been around a bit, it's about organisations who have global reach working with those who are focusing on local audiences. It's a real coming together of the complex ecology of our trade, and it's the ecology of our trade that enables the work that we've seen in category after category after category tonight to be so inspiring. And that coming together of different forms of journalism is more true nowhere than in news, where a lot of the stories you've just seen, and no doubt others in the category, are a result of incredible work by a wide range of people. As we've seen and heard, and as we all know, the news environment has been extremely difficult in the last year or more, and nowhere more so than in Gaza, and we've seen examples of that tonight. I would just say that I think it's an absolute outrage, it's an international outrage that journalists have not been allowed into Gaza to report freely for 20 months. And our political leaders need to take up that cause. We can campaign as much as we like,
and all of us in this room will do that, I'm sure. But until this becomes a political issue about the suppression of accountability through journalism, to borrow one of Richard's phrases earlier, the vital witness role that journalists face, we are not going to solve this without that pressure, and it is an outrage. And so to the news winner from this amazing category, and I have to say we don't know whether the winners are all in the room tonight. I hope they are, but if not, we will send them our best wishes remotely from London. The winner is the deadly drug mixed with human bones from Sierra Leone.
Thank you so much. I want to thank all of our contributors who opened up to us, invited us into their community, and also the amazing people who are working to support drug users in Freetown. So much of the access for this film wouldn't have been possible without them. This film was a big team effort, so thank you to Saidu, Bruno, Afaniel, Yusuf and Tem.
Now, our final award of the evening is the Press Freedom Award. This accolade recognises an independent media organisation based in the Global South that uses media to address social, cultural, political and economic issues. The award seeks to honour and encourage outstanding reporting that informs the public and amplifies varied perspectives. Journalists everywhere face increasing threats and challenges to their work, yet their role is more vital than ever before. As the world becomes more fragile, we depend on their stories to keep us informed and connected. They observe and witness what we can't. They find solutions and explore them for us. They show us humanity at its worst and at its best. Let's take a look at the nominees.
Addis Standard is an independent news outlet in Ethiopia. It publishes in English, Amharic, and Oromo. Launched as a monthly news magazine in 2011, it stood out from other outlets in the country, with most either state-affiliated or shying away from covering issues like state corruption and human rights. In 2016, it was forced to shut down when the state passed laws that criminalized critical coverage of the government. Addis Standard has faced suspensions, harassment, arrests of its staff for years, but remains the most hard-hitting press outlet covering Ethiopia for local and international audiences. ARIJ, Arab Reporters for Investigative Journalism, is a non-profit foundation dedicated to advancing quality investigative journalism in the Arab world. As the world's leading networks of investigative journalists, educators, and fact-checkers, ARIJ operates across all Arab countries in the Middle East and North Africa, working to strengthen accountability and combat mis- and disinformation. The People's Archive of Rural India, PARI, is a multimedia digital journalism space and archive and the only website wholly dedicated to rural India, which 1 billion people call home. They cover their everyday economic and social challenges, giving voice to their politics and culture. They cover communal tensions, displacements, and lack of access to basic needs. They challenge policies and laws that are not working and point out corruption. Their focus is exposing the inequalities and injustices in the system that impact India's poorest, who don't get a voice in mainstream media.
To announce this year's winner, please welcome Principal Presenter for Al Jazeera, Dareen Abu-Gheda.
Thank you, Gillian. Thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. It's an honor to present an award that speaks to the heart of what journalism is all about, as you've been hearing, the Press Freedom Award. So this is a category that celebrates extraordinary courage, resilience, and commitment to truth, often in the face of growing censorship as well as personal risk. So in 2025, we've witnessed the continued deterioration of press freedom across the globe, a trend that's been intensified by geopolitical tensions, shrinking newsroom budgets, and the growing silencing of independent voices. And in a historical first, this is pretty outstanding. This year's World Press Freedom Index by Reporters Without Borders described the global state of press freedom as difficult. It highlights Gaza. We've seen a lot of content out of Gaza this evening, and that is where the Israeli army has killed over 200 media professionals in the first 18 months of the war, some of them targeted while they were doing their jobs. Israel has also imposed blackouts on the Gaza Strip, making it almost impossible for journalists to continue to report the truth. But it's not only in Gaza, where press freedom is entirely absent and practicing journalism has become particularly dangerous. Reporters Without Borders cites 42 countries harboring over half of the world's population as having entered the very serious category. Rwanda, Uganda, Ethiopia, Jordan, Hong Kong, China, Russia, and that's just to name a few. That list goes on and on. With the rise of AI, journalists are now facing yet another challenge: the need to go even further to prove the legitimacy of their stories in an increasingly manipulated press landscape. Yet despite all of this, your determination ensures that stories which might otherwise go untold continue to inform and compel us, as we've seen this evening. So tonight we acknowledge and we thank the journalists and the filmmakers who continue to pursue truth and report on the facts. So I can now announce that the Press Freedom Award will be going to Arab Reporters for Investigative Journalism. Congratulations.
Thank you so much for One World Media, and congratulations to the fellow nominees. This award is highly appreciated in a region where press freedom is extremely volatile. Arij, as we call it, has recently published its 1,000th investigation. We are extremely proud of our latest cross-border investigation, the Gaza Project 1. We thought it will end there, and now we have the Gaza Project 2, a collaboration of 50 journalists from 13 global media outlets, coordinated by Forbidden Stories. This prize belonged to Arij Executive Director, Rawan Damen, who has led the organization through its most challenging times, and also to Arij dedicated editorial and management team. This prize also belongs to all Arab investigative journalists and fact-checkers who have walked alongside Arij in speaking truth to power, and above all, to the journalists of Gaza who risk their lives daily to ensure that crimes against humanity are never hidden. Thank you.
What an incredible evening it's been, seeing the films, hearing the podcasts, hearing the testimonies and the difficult situations that many people try to do their work through to bring the journalism that so needs to be put before all of us. Thank you all for joining us tonight to celebrate the winners of the 37th One World Media Awards. Each of the storytellers is doing remarkable work, and we extend our warmest congratulations to all of them. It's been a real honour for me to host this ceremony. We hope the stories you've seen and the voices you've heard tonight have moved and inspired just as much as they have inspired us. They reaffirm our belief in the transformative power of journalism and serve as a reminder that the way stories are told shape our understanding of the world. A special thank you to the sponsors, judges, presenters, staff and event crew. Your dedication made this evening possible. One World Media looks forward to continuing this journey, championing the voices and stories that matter. Now, if you wish to view these shortlisted stories and those from our long list, please head to the OWM website awards page, where you'll find all the links. To everyone else, please join us for a drink and a toast to our winners. Thank you, and we hope to see you next year.